Hello, my name is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Rambone. That's my alias. I worked as a bank examiner in the federal government. I worked for the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. I saw what happens there. Since working as a federal bank examiner, I have been forcibly injected and tortured and basically robbed of my career, robbed of my good name, and everything else that those people in control want to do. You have crime syndicates that will not go away. Regardless of what Ron Paul says, under the current situation, and even if he tries, he couldn't do anything about it because what you have is layer upon layer of collusion. Anytime you have collusion, you lose control. That's why auditors and accountants build controls into accounting systems. Our banking system is the same way. The way our banking system is built, it looks like it probably just drains some money into some international pockets. The whole thing is rigged. What can be done? Who knows? I like to demand an end to the forced injections of compliant individuals in the United States. That will not happen. He will not talk about that. He could talk about the origination of currency that could be handled from within the government. They could be handled from outside too. But you have to remove any collusive structures that are built into the system. One collusive structure that I noticed while working at the FDIC, this is just one of many, I'm certain, was the National Treasury Employees Union. It came into power back around not after long after the stock market crash back in the 20s. It actually came into power in 36 or 37, right about the same time that a lot of other things were going on. And eventually they grew in early 70s. They expanded over much of the federal government. Now they're almost over many, many agencies. As a former bank examiner, when I go across the border, because I reported money laundering, it was put on the same computers that the National Treasury Employees Union knows, because the National Treasury Employees Union federal agencies have. The Border Patrol is under the NTEU, which is National Treasury Employees Union, Customs and all that. So my life is in danger. I was actually attacked this year in Canada. I was attacked in 2001, except they were trying to kill me. This time I think it was more harassment, although someone did try to shoot out my eye with a little pellet pistol. Well, I had a flat tire. That was in Canada. I had caught some people under my vehicle twice. When I go through the Border Patrol, I had to pull over. That gives time for everybody to get notified that here comes one of the informants on murder and money laundering. The casinos in Canada also have American dollars, most likely. Well, they have Canadian money. Of course, now the banks span the borders. The Canadian banks, RBC, and there are other banks. Of course, Bank of America is under the Treasury. They're regulated by the Treasury. The banks I regulated were smaller banks. However, I saw banks getting charters that looked like for the explicit purpose of laundering money coming from Nevada. They were getting bank charters in California. This thing is set up in a way that you cannot imagine. Big money has no mercy. We're talking about billions of dollars. I've heard people arguing over chump change more. This picture here was drawn after attempts on my life and the attacks on myself by the government. You can see them in my video. They came to my home in a null process case where I have the right to freedom of press. They came to my home and went after my family also, creating havoc in my life. I'm asking for $9.11 million on behalf in reparations for the forced injections and torture. I do not believe Ron Paul is any different from any other candidate in the regime. We've lost our civil rights and we have lost our human rights. To be forcibly injected is just like being raped, I am certain. It was one of the most horrific experiences of my life. Not on one occasion, but on two occasions, 2001 and 2004.